you guys, it's me Laura. I'm a homeschooling mom of 3 kids ages 12, 10, and 5, and today I am going to share with you my planner situation, how I keep track of all the things. So currently I am homeschooling my kids. I am launching a business, a curriculum business, which I'm super excited to share with you guys soon. I know I keep saying soon, but like I am trucking away, working really hard, and I don't want to release something that is not good. So I'm taking the time to go step by step, and I'm still hoping that by the end of this month I can be locking in beta testers and getting everything shipped out and ready for testing, and hopefully by January has a product that I'm launching. That's my goal. I don't know if I will make that timeline. I don't know if it's reasonable. I have never done this before, so we're just gonna see. And I am filming my process along the way as best I can so that you guys can kind of see behind the scenes, and I'll share that with you once the product has launched, in case you're curious. But I'm doing that. I work part-time at our local library, and I'm homeschooling, I'm a mom, all those things. So my plate is pretty full right now. I'd say it's fuller than it has been in a very long time. So I really have to have a planner. I have to keep track of all of the things that I do. Now, one thing, I do not keep a planner as far as homeschool goes because I have checklists for my kids every day. Each of them have their own checklists that they work through, and they just do the next lesson or the next activity or the next thing. I don't like to plan too far ahead because I also try and make any of the stuff that does take any pre-planning work, like their spelling or whatever, I'll do that in response to what their needs are for that. So I just sit down at the beginning of the week, get all that figured out. When it comes to unit studies for all of my units, I have them scheduled like this ahead of time. Usually we just do one a day, but sometimes we will lump two together, or sometimes one activity is taking a lot longer than I had thought it would. So we'll spread that out over 2 days. Some days we skip unit altogether. So I don't schedule things to specific days. So that is kind of all its own thing. I don't really have a planner for homeschooling. We just keep trucking along. But when it comes to everything else, and even some of the things that I have to prep for homeschool that are outside of that normal flow or anything like that, I have to write it all down. So I have been following, if you are not following Arlene on Instagram, she is the queen of reels, the queen of planners. But she also has a YouTube channel, which I will be sure to link below, but she does excellent reviews inside planners, inside curriculums, shows you how to put a lot of stuff together. She uses a lot of different resources and kind of brings pieces in from each one of them. So if you want to see things that you don't typically see people reviewing on YouTube for homeschool curriculum, she's definitely the place to go. But she has multiple planners, and I've always felt very overwhelmed by multiple planners. Well, don't you just want everything in one place? But now I have 3 planners, and I'm going to show you, probably not exactly what you think, but I will show you what I have and how I use them. This is my first planner, and it is just a monthly planner. It goes from 2022 to 2025, and it is just full of monthly spreads. And I use this to keep in my purse. I use this to plan all our appointments. I use this to plan all of our events, any classes the kids have, all my work that I have to be somewhere to work, or if I've got to block off a day that I have to block off to work on curriculum, like all of that goes in this. It goes with me everywhere that I go so that I can easily keep track of all the things. But there is nothing else in this planner. That is it. So all I'm doing is big picture planning with this, scheduling things for the family, making sure that we know when people are visiting us, when we're going on trips, all those things. That goes in this planner. It's kind of messy, it's kind of overwhelming, but it is super important, and that is all that is in here. Once a week, I will pull my planner from Plum Paper Planner, as well as my monthly planner, and I also grab my menu planner. So I pull these 3 things together. I transfer any important stuff from this monthly planner for the week into here. I put all of my appointments, all of our meetings. If my husband's working late, I'll put that in there. Anything that has to be due on specific dates, I will put that in there as well. Right now I'm using stickers to kind of keep track of different things, but I think I'm going to move to highlighters just because when those run out, just because it's cheaper and easier and it works just as well. So I put all of that in for each day. I will also write in there what our unit study, just something brief to know what I'm doing for the unit study. That way I can just have an idea as I'm going into the day. If it's a heavy day, if I'm going to need to plan a lot, if I need to pull any supplies in for that, I do put that in there. So once I have all of those there, I will also write in here anything that's super important that needs to get done for the week, especially if it doesn't have a specific day that it's going on, just something that needs to get done. I will write that in this box up here. And then I have my to-do lists. So these do not look the same all the time. They change depending on what's going on. Sometimes they'll have more things or less things. I do always keep my weekly and daily lists in here as well for the things that I have to do every day and that I have to do every week. But then I just put all my to-dos right here on this weekly spread. And if there are things that are completely unimportant or are gonna need to be done at a later date that I don't need to worry about this week, I'll put it on a sticky note and put it on the next week's spread so that I can deal with it when I get to that. But then I have this set up. I'm ready to go for the week. I know what food I'm making. I know what appointments I have. I know what to do, what needs to happen. And so that is set up for the week. Now we come to this. So this is my journal and my planner, and I use it for both, and they're both right in line with each other. There is no real distinction. And every day I will come in and write the date, and I look at my planner. I look at the things that are happening that day. I look at the things on my to-do list and see if I want to pull any in for that day. And I make myself my to-do list for the day. Now, most days I try to make this to-do list very doable. Sometimes on the weekends, I will just pull in all the to-dos that I need to do for the weekend and just see which ones I can knock out, what makes sense. But I will also put in here the unit that we're doing for that day, as well as the food that I'm making for the day. Any food prep that I need to do for future days, I will put on, and it is just the day. And then what I do is I make a basic schedule. Okay, so these are all the things I have to do, so where am I going to put them in my day? So I will make a basic schedule, and it looks different every day, and that is okay. Some days I get everything in, no problem. Other days I struggle. That's pretty normal. And then oftentimes throughout the day or at the end of the day, I will journal about how the day went or just anything that I feel like journaling about. Sometimes it's anxiety journaling. Sometimes it's things that I want to remember. And I do that every single day. So I'm only working on one section of time at a time. And this has really, really, really cut down my stress and overwhelm, because when I am planning here, that's all I'm worrying about, is just making sure that everything fits and seeing where the big picture is. And that is all I'm worried about. When I pull in everything for my week, I am not stressing about what's coming up 2 weeks from now. I am only worrying about what I need to worry about for the week and planning that out. I'm getting my to-do list sorted for the week so that I know what things I have, so that I'm not worried that there's something that I'm missing that's really important. It's all right in here. It all transfers. I can easily see what's important and what would be nice to get done. And then when it comes to every day, again, I have my lists in here. I'm looking it over every day, making sure I'm not forgetting anything. And I only pull in what I actually think that I can usually do in a day. And I don't have to worry about something getting missed or something not happening, because all I'm worrying about is this one planner on a day. So that is the way that I utilize the 3 planners. I have a monthly planner, a weekly planner, and a daily planner. Keeping them separate has been so good for me. I found that when I was trying to put everything in one planner, I would tend to get so overwhelmed with all the things, because I wasn't just looking at what I needed to do for one day. I was looking at what I would needed to do for a whole month, and I just couldn't focus in on the most important things, and just constantly overwhelmed. But since moving to this system where I have a planner for each time period, I know most people don't do this. Most people do their planners in context. So like you'd have a homeschool planner and a home planner and a work planner, and that just has never worked for me, because then I can't, when I'm looking at I can't look at a whole day at once, and that was so overwhelming. I was always afraid of something I was forgetting. So this also just really helps me to see everything that I've got on my plate, see how it all fits together, help me to put everything in a time block, and it has worked amazing. So I am curious what you like to do for your planners. How many planners do you have? How do you organize them? How do you keep them separate? How do you keep track of all the things in your life? I would love to hear about it in the comments below. And if you have been enjoying my videos and you haven't subscribed, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button below. I like to make videos on all things homeschooling and books, and I would love to have you be a part of this channel. And I hope that you have a fantastic day. I'll talk to you later. Bye.